Hi YouTube, this is Tony Osman again, following up on our episodes of criminal behavior patterns of Magdy A. Osman and Azza A. Mashayikh. So we're going to briefly give a timeline. We already talked about point number one, the murder of Gamal Osman. Point number two, how 9/11 was put together, antenna theory of the attack by Azza A. Mashayikh, and Magdy Osman recruiting. So there's no doubt about that. We showed the evidence. Now, since those two previous events happened, two major crimes with a very well organized terrorist organization with very bright, high level professional terrorists hiding behind their titles, the only link to the two previous crimes was Tony Osman, because he's Gamal Osman's son, and because he went to Afghanistan, saw Ali Muhammad, all the, like we talked about, KSM and all the previous people. We won't go into the details of that, but basically he saw all the real masterminds of 9/11, including all the secret ones that were in New Jersey. So he came back from that experience, and then Magdy immediately took possession of him and sought to control him so that this information would never get to law enforcement or to the public. So his plan and Azza's plan was basically, let's pretend that we're really raising the kid and we really care for him and we're trying to protect him in front of the people, and then build alibis for a little while. And then when his health insurance gets cut off at the age of 26, I believe 24, 26, I can't remember the exact age, but then we'll poison him to get rid of him, and we gotta make it look like an accident. So I came after September 11. Magdy moved me to Cairo, Egypt, and his family to hide there till the smoke and everything calmed down, till the whole thing blew over. So basically, I came back from American University in Cairo, student abroad, to University of Minnesota in the year 2003. So I was in Egypt from December 2001 to spring 2003. And then I went to U of M, and then Magdy Osman was coming and visiting me every 2 weeks. And I didn't know what that was all about. You know, why is this dude so concerned about me, and having dinner and then having me spill the beans about my whole life and what I was doing. And then finally at one point, December 2004, he told me that he owns a bunch of shopping centers in Florida and that he wants me to come manage them, and he wants me to get in the real estate business with him, and he wants to make me into a multi-millionaire. So I thought that sounded a lot more attractive and fun than college. So, and he offered to help me out and get me started in the business and give me actual shopping centers and properties to start managing and leasing right away. So very excitedly, I agreed to the thing, and then he told me, but you gotta come driving down. I had a Chevy Tahoe. I drove that down. He told me, but on your way, stop by Azza Mashayikh in Lincroft, New Jersey, and then after that, stop by Khalid's in Herndon, Virginia. Khalid Ibrahim, 1993 World Trade Center bombing conspirator, co-conspirator, along with Azza, and then come to Florida to my house. So two people I visited who were also part of 9/11, part of the U.S. Embassy bombings, 1998, and part of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. And then before that, even in Egypt, part of the assassination of Anwar Sadat and numerous terrorist events in Egypt. So now I'm in Florida, 1800 Gulf Boulevard, Florida. As you can see, I got my real estate license. I work for Coldwell Banker Commercial, NRT Commercial, and notice the Sarasota there, you know, in the area I was in, very close. Again, Magdy's been in Tallahassee before. He's always going to Sarasota. We know the hijackers were in both places. So basically, I'm very excited. I'm really down to getting in the business. And then one day out of nowhere, Magdy comes and tells me, yo, and by the way, I used to be called Muhammad Ali Osman. Magdy's the one who came and told me to change my name, my first and last name. He told me that's the only way you can succeed in the real estate business. Nobody wants to do business with a guy named Muhammad after 9/11, the event he organized. So his real goal obviously was to get me to change my first and last name, which I didn't do, so that he can break any connection between me and Gamal on paper. Kind of like putting that P in the 242 U Street thing. So then one night, in August, Magdy A. Osman comes out. We're gonna flip now over. So this is in, we're gonna go to France Family Physicians first. You can see my name, address, and then this is the critical thing here is the date here. December 8, 2014, right here. All your labs looked normal. All right, it's from my family physician here.
2004.
2004. December 8, 2004. Sorry if I was speaking earlier. So what happens then, I'm healthy. I go to Florida because Magdy's going to make me into a billionaire, right? In the real estate business and shopping centers that he owns. So this guy right here, Midhat Hidayah, Magdy instructs to build. He's his right-hand man and housekeeper of 1800 Gulf Boulevard, Bel Air Shores, Florida. He builds a room for me in a former storage unit beneath the house, adjacent to another storage unit. And I'm going to show you what the house looks like here in a second, but you got to understand you can't see the storage rooms from the aerial top view. Anyway, 2 rooms like this right next to each other. And then one night Magdy comes and tells me, hey, I want you to be my new pool cleaning guy. Midhat's not going to clean the pool anymore. You're going to clean the pool so that when you have your own house, you know how to clean your pool. You know, I thought, oh, what a nice guy. So then what happens is here's the actual room. The room is below, you can't see it, but it's below that balcony. It's below the house, right in that area. Now there's an outhouse right here that's not on the property. I mean, it's on the property, but not.
There's a pool.
Yeah, so that's our pool, the 1800 Gulf Boulevard, and that's the neighbor. But that's the pool I'm talking about. And then the outhouse is right there. And then Magdy A. Osman had me race him on the beach, and then I won, and then he got real angry. And then he told me to help him move these chemicals from here to the storage room that's next to the one I was sleeping in that he built for me, especially using Midhat, so I could learn how to clean the pool, and when I get my house, I can clean it. But basically, then, this is the critical thing. He gave me this thing right here, Pinch a Penny Pool Patio Spa. 5 minutes away is the location of the store, actual store in Largo, Florida, where he got those chemicals from. And he knew that he was going to kill me that night, and he was just playing a practical joke on me by giving me this thing. Like, I'm giving you the info that I'm using to kill you, and you don't even know, you idiot, just like I did with your dad, haha, in 9/11. So it's a pattern of criminal behavior. Anyway, I go into that room that night, right? Last sentence he tells me before I go to sleep is, you know what cash flows real good? Medallions. I was thinking, what medallions? What's he mean? Little did I know that he meant my old Newark, New Jersey taxi medallions that I used to own, that his best friend now owns, Muhammad Khalid, who's Azam Shah's, their husband and wife. But anyway, so he mixes chlorine, which is bleach, ammonia, which is a cleaning chemical for the pool also, and paint thinner. Now, all those chemicals, 3 chemicals, when they're alone in their sealed containers, they're not toxic in that form, they're safe. When you open them up though, and you mix them all, you create a new chemical compound and a chemical reaction that creates a very toxic gas that's actually normally flammable if it's only chlorine and ammonia. And he knew that, so he added the paint thinner as the catalyst to keep it from being explosive, but still a toxic gas. And then right below where he spelled the chemicals, my air conditioning unit wall unit that he put in there, had Midhat put in there, in a false shabby wall, that connected to the other unit where I drew in my air. So really my air conditioning is like this, chemicals spill down here, chemical vapors come up like that, get sucked into the air conditioning unit and stream into the room I'm sleeping in, thus filling up the room with chlorine, ammonia, paint thinner, gas. Basically almost like a Nazi gas chamber. I mean, it was, you know, the walls were solid concrete blocks all around me except the false wall that connected to the next unit. And then my air supply was only from the storage unit. So the main house was not affected in any way or shape or form. And then beneath the house in that area, it's an open area. So he didn't even have to like wear protective gear or anything. He just spilled the chemicals underneath the unit and then ran off and probably observed from by the pool. If you're standing right here by the pool, you can see my room in the storage area, and you could probably see the smoke streaming in, the ammonia and paint thinner and chlorine mix, chlorine gas. So basically, I was about unconscious 48 hours, and then I get up, extremely swollen, can barely breathe, can barely walk, and then immediately I noticed the spilled chemicals out there, and I could smell the smell as soon as I wake up. And then I can barely move, and I make it to the upstairs. I find Muhammad Ashur, who's living in the main house, and I call him down to see this chemical spill and how sick I am. My sister also happened to be at the house at the time. Sarah Ibrahim, Khalid Ibrahim's daughter, 1993 World Trade Center bombing conspirator. She's there, and she sees the chlorine, ammonia, paint thinner. So does Muhammad Ashur. So I have two first-hand witnesses who saw that, and they see that it spilled below the air conditioning unit. And I told them to go get sand from the beach and shovel it onto there, and then Magdy appeared out of nowhere and looked at me and looked like he'd seen a dead man walking. He was so startled. I didn't know like what the deal was. And then I told him I'm feeling super sick and not well, and I can't even like lift my work bag. That's how weak I am. And then Sarah said your lymph nodes look swollen. I didn't even know what lymph nodes were at that time or what that term even was. And she said, look, lift your arm. I could see it. And then I lifted my arms, and it looked like I had two softballs in each armpit. That's how swollen it was. And Sarah even told me, you look like you gained 30 pounds in 2 days. And then Magdy feels me up in the lymph nodes. He said, no, you're fine. There's nothing's wrong. There's no need. You're all right. And then Sarah's like, no, you're not all right. You need to go to the hospital. And then she takes me to a Largo emergency room, Largo Diagnostic Clinic. Over there, I meet with this man named Dr. Colette. And that's me, Tony Osman. And then, as we said, that's my billing information, Blue Cross Blue Shield, 1800 Gulf Boulevard. So they do a blood test, and then everything is not okay. My eosinophil count is 6,055, and it's supposed to be 15 to 500. So I'm like way over there, the line there. Matter of fact, the doctor, after he got the blood test, he was so afraid that I was gonna die immediately that he had them inject me with cortisone. He had me sign a consent, and then he told me that I have to meet with a bunch of other doctors. And then I met with a heart doctor. He told me I was having a very irregular heartbeat that kept on rapidly changing. And I met with a heart doctor who referred to and put me on a Holter monitor for a 48-hour period. And I met with another specialist, the allergy specialist, because they couldn't exactly figure out what was causing this. Although I told them that I believed that some chemicals I was exposed to might be causing this. And then they told me you're obviously having some sort of severe allergic reaction or reaction of some sort. We just can't pinpoint it. And then after a long battle there about seeing 6 different doctors who all came up empty-handed, and they all told me I should move back to where I used to live, which was Minnesota. And they all told me that I should go to the Mayo Clinic if possible. And then I went there, and then this is what my doctors at Mayo Clinic said after treating me for approximately 8 years after I was poisoned. To whom it may concern, I have been providing care for Mr. Tony Osman for his disorder with markedly increased eosinophils requiring continuous and likely lifelong therapy. This disorder could have been caused by exposure to chemicals, parasites. When I was in Afghanistan, I was also exposed to parasites, and allergens, which again, the pool chemicals is really what did it. So moving forward, I want to show you how this is a pattern of criminal behavior. So he killed my father, and then he bleached out his photo. See my face. So look at this pattern of behavior. Murders this guy, and then Magdy Osman bleaches out his own photo. And that's Magdy sitting on the hood with one hand in the vehicle. And that's actually where Azza smashed into my dad. And then my passport with the bleached out. So he bleached this out before he even tried to kill me. And this was done in 1993 when I came back into the USA. So pattern of behavior. you have to see how the events are connected. After they murdered Gamal, used that money and technology to do the 9/11 with the antenna theory right there on her desk. The only loose end now was Gamal's son, Gamal E. Osman's son. So what were they gonna do? Oh, we're gonna make believe he has an accident like his dad. And is Gamal Osman's son the only one who's been poisoned by Magdy? Is there anybody else been? Azza Mishal herself told me that Magdy told her that he poisoned Jessica's mom to cover up and to prevent his current wife, Joanna Osman, from divorcing him. Also, this would have prevented Magdy from getting any money from any